real quick. My name is Kim Danke, and I live in Kennesaw, Georgia. Hey, Karen from Chatsworth. My name is Kim Danke. I'm from Kennesaw, Georgia, and I just found out about Shibboleth this year, but it is life-changing. It is life-changing when you figure out how you should be eating, the structure in which you should be eating, and that you can still enjoy your holidays and not eat like every day is a holiday. You can actually lose weight, enjoy life, and do this program. So that's why it's so exciting to me. And I have a master's degree in education. And when I realized, this guy, Travis, he's not trying to get into our pockets and make a buck off of us. He really, really, really just wants to educate us on how we should be eating. And he wants to save lives through this information that he has found out about. I just had to be a part of it. And so thankfully they've allowed me to be a part of it. I used to be a school teacher. I used to be a principal. So but I'm not anymore. So this gives me that fun and awesome outlet to teach people about something that I know that this is a universal concern. This is something that every one of us would be concerned about in life, either keeping weight off, or if we don't need to lose any weight, not gaining it as we get older, as tends to happen sometimes. So this program really is the secret, okay? So welcome to Shibboleth if you're brand new. If you're a second chance member, meaning you're giving us a second chance to explain how the program works to you, welcome back. We thank you. If you're a new lifetime member, we thank you for trusting us that much. And well, it's a deal too. So it's, but my name is Kim Danke. So if you will text, this will be an assignment later in the week. So if you don't get this written down right now, it's okay. But if you'll text to the number 31996, the word Kimmy, you'll find out anytime that I go live, if it's not a planned live one, or when I'm doing a class in Cartersville or maybe local to you. You'll just find out when I have notifications to go. That's what that's about. And then if you'll text Travis to that same number, and if you'll text my Jason without any spaces to that same number, you'll find out about when Travis is going live or when Jason is going live, because they're all, awesome teachers. And we want to know when they're going live, because you know what? When they go in live, they're excited about something. They have something important to share. But see, here's the thing. In Shibboleth, there is no lack of us attempting to motivate, encourage, and educate you. But this is how you find out about it. You got to stay engaged and involved, and that's the way. So in this little webinar that I'm doing tonight, it is quick and easy and to the point, because in this new member fast track group, my whole goal is to get you to understand the program quickly, but not necessarily in one night, okay? Because this is important information to know, and I find it easy, but not everybody does. But I think over a week's time, if you're willing to put forth a little bit of effort and do the little assignments that I give, then you will also understand this program. And please, whatever you do, if you have any questions, make sure that you ask them, because other people are thinking the same thing and just haven't asked it. So please ask if you have any questions so that we can answer those. So if you will, just text those, but if you don't capture that right now, it's okay. It'll be in a later assignment in the week. Now, because I'm using this little flip chart because I'm old school and I just like a flip chart. So tomorrow night won't be with a flip chart. Tomorrow night we're going to have a webinar on food combining, and I'm using a website, so it won't be like this. But I wanted to use this like this. And if you have a question, I see you raised your hand. If you have a question, if you could type it in the chat feature, I'll be able to answer it. Okay, so I'm boiling it down to real simple. I'm going to go flying through it, right? 2 modes. There are just 2 modes in weight loss. It's either you're in weight loss mode or you're in what we're really calling a wellness mode, but that's maintenance, where you're maintaining your weight loss, but you are in a state of wellness, all right? So number 1 is weight loss. Number 2 is wellness. If you have not hit your weight loss goal yet and you don't have your victory badge yet, then you are in weight loss. It's that simple. You're going to mark that in your in your profile, and that the mode that you're in is in weight loss. Once you have hit your victory, you got your victory badge, you've hit weight loss, if you want to go into the maintenance or wellness mode, you're welcome to do that. And I'm going to explain why you might want to do that in just a second. There are two types of days on the program. We have a perfect day or a holiday. It's that simple. There's no other type of day. It's either perfect according to the program, or you're not doing some component of the program, so therefore it is called a holiday. So holidays are important because there are going to be days when excuse me. There are going to be days that we know that we just cannot eat on plan due to some reason, okay? And so we have our holidays. Now, if you are in weight loss, you have up to 6 days in a month that you can use as holidays. And once you get into the wellness mode, then you have up to 12 holidays that you can use in a month. Think about that. That is 12 days. That's almost half the month that you could do whatever you choose. And here's the caveat. As long as your other days are truly perfect days, then you will maintain your weight loss. But if you allow those other days to turn into okay days, then it'll be hard to maintain the weight loss because you are inching up and you're trending upward. So you've got to make sure that your perfect days truly are perfect days. But on your holidays, you can enjoy them any way that you choose. You could have a full-out hog trough day, which you will learn you don't really want to do after a while, or you could just have one meal that's off plan, which actually you might find that you actually like better. So, but these are all things that kind of happen as we go along in our lifestyle. So there are 5 components to a perfect day. And this is basically our bulletproof shield, that if you are following these, you are going to remain in weight loss mode. You are efficient fat burning mode. You're going to be losing weight, or you're going to be maintaining your weight loss. So there's these 5 components to our perfect day. I use these to filter every decision I make through my daily decisions through this. Okay, so there's 5 components. One is water. I got mine right here. You want to make sure that you are drinking your water. You want to drink at least 64 ounces. That is about 4 of these a day. Okay, then, but your goal is really a gallon. I'm going to tell you, drinking that gallon or attempting to get that gallon in is going to be your best friend in satisfying hunger. Number 2, you want to journal your food. I'll go over that in a second. Number 3, you want to combine your food in a proper way. Number 4, you want to portion control. And number 5, you want to eat in a certain timing. Now, number 5 is the one that's really not going to throw you off of having a perfect day, because we all have different work schedules and different things that we have to do during the day. Everybody is super busy. So that's the one that's not going to throw you off of having a perfect day. So it takes 2 perfect days to get into EFB. EFB stands for efficient fat burning. So in the website, you're going to see a daily timing chart. And in that daily timing chart, you're going to see some icons. There'll be little green checks. There'll be flames. It could be a little holiday guy with a smiley face with a mask on it. If you've had more holidays than you're allowed in the month, you'll see this little diet devil thing. So those are the icons on your calendar. And so when you have your first perfect day, you're going to get a green check. Then you're going to have your second perfect day. You're going to get another green check. That's your first 2 perfect days. But we aren't in efficient fat burning yet. On your 3rd perfect day, you're going to see a flame in your timing chart, and that means you are in EFB. You are in efficient fat burning. Now, that's really where we want to be, and then our job is just to string as many efficient fat burning days together as we can, because that's where your best weight loss is going to come from. But keep in mind that once you have another holiday or a holiday, it's going to take 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. And there's no reason to worry about that. That's just the way it works. See, when you are having these 2 perfect days to get back into EFB, your body is getting rid of insulin, glycogen, sodium, and that kind of thing so that it can get back into efficient fat burning. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. We're going to talk about each component of a perfect day individually. So number one is water. So you want to drink at least a half a gallon of water, but your goal is really a gallon. And so, and like I said earlier, your best friend in being not hungry, or if you feel hungry, getting satisfied by not eating something would be to drink your water. You want to get at least 4 of these in, but your goal is 8 of those, or a gallon jug. However you measure it, it doesn't matter. Figure out what your favorite cup is, figure out how much it is out in ounces, and then know how many times you have to fill that up and drink it in a day. So you drink your water. See, water is really important because water helps metabolize fat, it helps flush out fat, it helps flush out toxins, it keeps us from having headaches, it combats depression, it helps with skin elasticity, all kinds of things. Water is so, so good for you. And if you're not drinking enough water, it's kind of hard to flush out the kidneys and the fat and everything to get that out of your body. So you want to make sure that you get your water in. So let's say that you like Diet Coke or something like that, and you drink a Diet Coke or an unsweet tea, or you drink some other drink. That doesn't count as your water. Water needs to be water. So if you're going to drink one of those drinks, you really need to drink even extra water just to combat that, because some of those things are very dehydrating. They're not hydrating. Okay, now component number 2 is to journal your food. The reason we journal our food, for twofold reasons. It helps us to eat mindfully rather than mindlessly. It also helps us learn the program and make sure that we're putting our food in the proper combinations and we're eating in the right portion control. So if you're journaling, you're making much more conscious decisions about what you're choosing to eat. You want to journal a perfect day and you want to journal a holiday. So you journal everything. And it's right there. It happens on the website. There's also an app. So if you want to get the Shibboleth Journal app, you can shop for that in your iTunes store. It's only 99 cents. And what that app has on it is the journal, the food library, a recipe library, and the restaurant guide. It doesn't have everything from the website on it because apps are really expensive to maintain. And we have so much information on our website, there'd be no way to put it all into an app. So it's got the 4 most highly visited areas on the website on the app. Component number 3 of a perfect day is eat properly combined meals. And we're going to come back to that in a few minutes, because this is all where you are controlling insulin. And your ability to know how, to learn how, and to know how to control insulin is going to be your best friend to get you into efficient fat burning and be able to maintain your weight loss and as you maintain it over you're going to be able to do it when you're going down, and then once you get there, you'll be able to maintain it going across, like if we were looking at a graph. And properly combined meals keep away what we call the fat bus, okay? Now, the fat bus, don't be offended by that name or anything like that. It truly is a thing. The fat bus is a thing. And we're going to talk about it in just a few minutes. The fat bus is insulin. And we're going to talk about why it's called that in just a second. Component number 4 of a perfect day is to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. I love that I do not have to count calories. I don't have to portion control, weigh or measure. I don't have to do all of that. I put it on a smaller plate in a properly combined way, and I use the 2-hand rule. I put my 2 hands right next to each other, just like that, right next to each other, and I place it down low over my plate. Your food should not be any thicker than the thickest part of your hand, and you shouldn't be looking at your food like that. It's got to be down here, okay, over your food. And as long as you don't have food sticking out all around your hand, you have properly portioned your meal. And I just think that is awesome, because I'm an easy person. I don't like to make things complicated. So that's how we portion control. Oh, the reason that you want to portion control is because 1 pound of fat has about 3,500 calories in it. So in order to lose a pound of fat, we need to be in a calorie deficit of at least 3,500 calories to lose a pound. And so we still have to portion control. I mean, even though we're following these other rules and we're eating according to the proper combinations, still does not mean that we can eat as much as we want, there's still calories, and we've got to go into a calorie deficit to lose fat. Okay, so component number 5, this is timing. Now remember, this is the one that I said if you didn't do this one exactly right with timing, that it wouldn't throw you off of having a perfect day. Now the other ones do. So if you're not getting at least 64 ounces of water in, that's not a perfect day. You didn't journal your food, it's not a perfect day. If you don't eat in properly combined meals or use a meal replacement instead of a properly combined meals, it's not a perfect day. And if you eat more than your portion, it's not a perfect day. But if you don't hit this one quite right, it does not throw you off of having a perfect day. This one is there for optimization, because you know there are some things that you can, that you know that you might not be able to do, but on those days that you can do it, it's better, and it optimizes your success, and it optimizes what you're doing. So what you want to do is when you wake up, you want to eat within an hour or two of waking. I know, and we say that because some people don't like to eat as soon as they wake up. So we try to make that a little bit flexible. But what's happening is you're breaking your overnight fast. That's why it's called breakfast. So you're breaking your overnight fast and you're fueling your metabolism by that food, okay? Then whatever time you've eaten breakfast, your goal is to eat 4 to 6 hours later for lunch, and then 4 to 6 hours later for dinner. So we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, and dinner for the Holy Spirit. And that just means so much to me, because that means that we are thanking the Lord for the 3 meals that He gives us each day. And 3 meals is really plenty for a person. I think that if you think through that, you would know that that is a reasonable amount of food for us to be eating. So you want to try to eat in that time frame, but I realize that some people work overnight shifts and different jobs and things like that. So you've got to do what works for you, but just remember, no more than 3 meals in a day. So however that works for you, that's what you're going to do. So what you want to try to do is not have any more than the 3 meals. And when I was in weight loss, oh, and by the way, those of you that don't know me, I lost 50 pounds in about 4.5 months with Shibboleth. I joined, and then I watched all the little daily doses, which are going to be assigned this week in this little group. I break them down so that you can have them watched by Saturday. And if you keep up with everything, you'll have them watched by Saturday, and you can earn your very first badge. If you've never earned a Shibboleth badge before, you can earn that badge after you take the test and pass the test. But I watched all the videos, basically learned the program, and then on Monday, I came back from some trips that I'd gone on right after I joined. And then on Tuesday, I went to the grocery store. On April 10th, I started journaling and having my first perfect day. Within a week, I had lost 9 pounds. Literally, a pair of pants that did not fit the week before fit the next week. So I lost 9 pounds. In my first month, I lost 18.5 pounds. My actual goal was to go from 185.5 to 150. I lost 35.5 pounds in exactly 3 months. And then I went into our maintenance or wellness program. I lost 15 more pounds. I didn't even know I had 15 more pounds to lose, but I guess I did. I lost 15 more pounds in maintenance, having my holidays, okay? So this is how well this program works. So basically I lost 50 pounds in about 4.5 months, which is amazing. Is that not crazy that it takes you 30, 50, however old you are now to get in the shape that you're in now, but you can turn it around so quickly. In 2 days, you've turned around your body, you get into that efficient fat burning. Once you figure this out, you won't want to not follow the program, I'm telling you that. So I lost 50 pounds. Now, I lost those 50 pounds, but when I was in weight loss, before I went into maintenance, I didn't have snacks or freebies or extras or anything like that. I really, truly did breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I did a gallon of water a day, a gallon. And it fell off. And yeah, there was a couple of days I was hungry. And yeah, there were some days, and this is one of my strategies, I went to bed at 7:30 at night, because for me, once I go to bed, I'm not getting back up. So I would go to bed at 7:30 at night. But you know what? That was okay. I was enjoying it. I was watching TV, looking at my phone, whatever I wanted to do, but I wasn't eating. and I was training my body to not need that and just to go on to bed. So, but we realize that sometimes it's not easy to do. So we have a plan for that. So your goal is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you're unable to do that, and we call that having a moment of weakness, because you really could get through. We call it having that a moment of weakness. I always tell everybody the very first thing, instead of going to food, if you are hungry, go to this right here. And if you will drink an entire water bottle like this all at one time, I know that might sound crazy, but if you'll drink it all at one time, your stomach is full, your mind is satisfied, and you are wondering about 5 minutes later, you're wondering, what did I just eat? I'm so full. Oh, you didn't eat anything. You went to your water. So that'll get you through some more time, to the next meal, that kind of thing. So utilize water first. If the water is not getting it, then you're going to want to go to freebies. Freebies are things like all your category 2 fibrous carb vegetables, pickles, cucumbers, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, all that is a freebie. But there's also sugar-free Jell-O as a freebie. There's egg whites as a freebie, those kind of things. So there's a whole list of freebies in the food library, and you might want to become familiar with the things that you like. So your next goal would be to go to freebies. But what you want to remember is don't overeat the freebies either, because you're trying to shrink your stomach and we don't want it to be all stretched out. And putting food in there, whether it's a freebie or not, can do that. So just kind of eat just enough to get you by to your actual next meal, okay? Then let's say you're in between the next meal. Do freebies again if you have to. But if that's not cutting it, we have something called an extra. And there's a list of extras in the food library. My go-to extra is a Coco Ringa. It's a moringa hot chocolate that I buy at the Shibboleth store. I do that because it's nice and warm, and right now that's really nice. But it takes a while for me to drink that, and it's satisfying because it lasts so long. It's only 70 calories, and so we just call that an extra. And then we have something called a snack. A snack is never more than 200 calories. There's an approved list of snacks in the food library as well. So you're going to want to familiarize yourself with the food library. And part of our assignments this week is to do that. I kind of give you a little task. Go and find this and do this so that you can figure all that out for yourself and know how to utilize everything. But think about what I said a few minutes ago, that 1 pound of fat has 3,500 calories in it. So if we're adding some freebies, which they're not 0 calorie, they're just very minimal calories, and then we add an extra that's 70 to 80 something calories, and then we add a snack that's about 200 calories, you can see how we're slowing down in getting to that $3,500. Aren't you glad this program isn't $3,500? 3,500 calorie deficit. It's slowing us down. So you'll still lose weight. It's just going to be a little bit slower. So it's going to slow you down by utilizing those things. But here's the good thing. If you do have to utilize them, utilize them. They will not throw you out of efficient fat burning for utilizing them, because we've only put things that are approved things in the food library. And also, so let's say that you've been having really hardcore breakfast, lunch, and meal, perfect days, but all of a sudden you get to, I'm going to use my example. I got to July 4th this year and I thought, man, this would be a great day to have a holiday. But when I started thinking through it, I thought, well, what am I going to eat? I thought, oh, hamburger. Okay, well, I can do an approved Shibboleth hamburger. Okay, I might want a hot dog. Well, I can do a Shibboleth approved hot dog. There's approved buns. There's approved everything I want. So what I did on that day was I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but then I also added an extra and a snack. It did not bring me out of EFB. It made me feel like I was having a holiday, though, by adding those extra things, and I was still having a very good, efficient fat-burning day. So utilize those things in a strategy. I strategize everything. Once you get to know me, you'll figure that out. But I strategize all of that. So use that as a strategy rather than just blowing it. I need to have more than breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to eat everything I can on this day. Well, why not just add all of the components that you can add that don't bring you out of EFB either. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the one that everybody is curious about is the component number 3 of the Shibboleth Shield, and that is how to properly combine foods. So it's very, very simple. You are going to need to learn 7 categories of foods. Then you're just going to figure out the foods that you like that are in those categories. Because on this program, you don't have to eat anything that you don't like. So you figure out what you like that are in these categories, and then you're going to learn to combine those foods in a way that help you control insulin. And before this webinar is over, I am going to show you on the website where you can print out your welcome packet and other things that are going to be handy for you to have on paper to utilize. And I'm going to show you where to find the food chart and all that kind of stuff, okay? But real quick, we're going to look at the 7 categories of food, and we're going to talk about those. This is a good time to, if you're sitting there and have a paper or pen near, grab that. I should have said that earlier, but while I take a sip of water, you can get a pen and paper. That's how you drink a whole thing of water. Okay, so there are 7 categories of food. Number 1 is a lean protein. Number 2 is a fibrous carb. Number 3 is an energy carb. Number 4 is a protein plus fat. Number 5 is fruit. Number 6 is a superfood. Number 7 is shellfish. That's it. That's all you got to know. Those are the 7 categories. And I just rode around in my car or was walking around in my house and just went 1, lean protein, 2, fibrous carb, 3, energy carb. And you just put them together. This is the information that you're going to need for the rest of your life. There's no reason not to memorize it, because remember, this is not a diet. This is the way, this is a lifestyle. It's the way that we should eat perfect days, and this is important to know. So we're going to talk about some things on these real quick, okay? So the lean protein, category number 1 and category number 7, shellfish, they're both lean proteins. So hear me right now, number 1 and number 7 can be used exactly the same way. In fact, number 7 used to be in number 1, but some people, due to allergies and other things, they really can't eat shellfish and stuff like that. Or for biblical reasons, people don't want to eat shellfish. So Travis pulled category 7 shellfish out, and that's how it ended up at the end, basically. But lean protein and shellfish, the exact same thing. They are both one of the best things to eat for you as a lean protein. But all your fish is just considered a lean protein, okay? So that's category 1 and category 7. Now let's look at category 2 and 3 real quick. Category 2 and 3 have a lot of vegetables in them, but not all vegetables respond the same way in our body. So they are separated into different groups. And you just have to treat them differently based on what it is. So if it were me, I would write down all the vegetables that I eat on a regular basis, look them up in the food library, figure out if they're a category 2 or a category 3, and then based on the combination chart, you'll know how that you should pair those. You'll know how to utilize them. Okay, category 4 is a protein plus fat. It's an excellent protein. It just is a little bit fattier than your lean protein or your shellfish. So it has to be treated a little bit differently. Your whole eggs, all cuts of steak, that kind of thing are in your protein plus fat. Category 5 is, it's besides being fruit, it's also called antioxidant carb. So that's all fruit. So all fruit is in a category 5. And fruit, because it does bring an insulin release, just has to be treated a little bit differently, especially in weight loss. In maintenance, you can use fruit by itself as a snack, but in weight loss, you just need to treat it a little bit differently. Category 6 is your superfood. That's where all your nuts and your seeds are going to be, your nut butters, your darker colored beans, avocado, hummus, that kind of thing. Those are all superfoods. And so right now, what I want you to understand, what I'm going to tell you next, is the ones that you can eat by themselves, because there are certain ones that you can eat by themselves. And the reason it's important to know that is sometimes you get out at a place and or you get at home, you don't have any food, you hadn't gone to the grocery store, and you think, what am I going to eat? There's certain things right here that you can just eat by themselves and not have to combine, and you would still stay in efficient fat burning. So a lean protein, a fibrous carb, protein plus fat, superfood, or shellfish you can eat by themselves. So category 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7 can all be eaten by themselves if you need to. So all I did was leave out category 3 and category 5. You just have to make sure that you combine those in a proper way. Then you have to combine 4 and 6 in a proper way too, but you can eat them by themselves, where 3 and 5 you cannot eat by themselves. Okay. Your 5, your fruit, you can eat it by itself as a snack, but only once you get into maintenance, okay, or in weight loss. So once you've learned the categories of food, you have to use some rules of combining. And so what I did was I started off by telling you all the ones that you can eat by themselves. But now there are some hard and fast rules on what you need to do for sure with some of those categories of food. We're going to go over that real quick, okay? So, and we're also going to talk about the ones that you are really, really good for your first week. Because honestly, if you were to jump into this tomorrow, by next Sunday, if you're doing this, you could lose 7 pounds in 7 days if you go ahead and get started on this and jump in. And there's no reason not to, because even if your days are that maybe you're eating some strange combination because you had it in your fridge, then eat it. It doesn't matter. But you will lose weight, and you can lose easily up to 7 pounds in 7 days if you'll jump in tomorrow. Don't think it all has to be just right to get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you the chart in a few minutes. We're also going to look at the chart later in the week and some of the little lessons. But let's revisit the categories, okay? Because remember how I said that you should not eat a category 3 by itself? The category 3 is an energy carb. That's where all of your light colored beans are, all your peas, your corn, all potatoes, a lot of breads are in there. That's where that is. So if you are going to eat a category 3, this is really, really important. This is huge in the combining world. If you're going to eat a category 3 by itself, it must be eaten with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. So that's a must and an and. It must be eaten with a category 1 and a category 2. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes when we talk about insulin. But what's happening is you are allowing the fiber from the fibrous carb and the protein from the lean protein to negate the insulin release that is going to come because of the category 3 energy carb you ate. So basically what we're doing is we're letting our food be our medicine for us. And this is why I call Travis a biohacker. He has just, over the years, figured all these things out and put it all into a program or a lifestyle that we can all follow and enjoy. So the same thing goes with a category 5, fruit. If you want to eat some fruit, you can, but it must be combined with a category 1 and a category 2, okay? And if you're, let's say that you are eating a category 4, protein plus fat, whatever you do, do not eat that with a energy carb, fruit, or a superfood. Okay, so that's what you can't eat with that. So if you have a category 4, let's just say you're eating some steak, you're not going to want to eat a baked potato with your steak. It doesn't work. And or maybe you're having some whole eggs. You don't want to eat your fruit with your whole eggs. You have to do something different with that. Or you don't want to have black beans with your steak. That's superfood. And so what's happening with that is there's a little bit more fat in the protein plus fat. So there's more fat lipids floating around inside your body. And because the insulin release that's going to come from those groups that I told you not to eat it with, they are going to go around and pick up that fat and store it. And we're going to talk about why that is in just a second, but that's the rule. You don't want to eat it with that. So let's say you're in a restaurant and you get a steak. So instead of ordering a baked potato now, order broccoli or asparagus or green beans or a side salad. Order that kind of thing. Just don't have a potato with it. Let's say you want to have some surf and turf. You can do that. So let's say that you want to have some protein, your protein plus fat, your steak, but you want to have some lobster with it. You can do that. You still want to make sure that you're portion controlling it. It still needs to fit underneath your hands. And if you need to, divide all the food that's on your plate in half, take all of that home. You could have another properly portioned and combined meal at home by doing that. So those are some hard and fast rules on what you don't want to do. But now we're going to go over some quick and really good ones to get started with. If you have any questions about that, feel free to type them in. So you're going to be familiarizing yourself with your food combination chart, but in the beginning, just keep it real simple, okay? Because this is a lifestyle. So it's something that over time, you will figure out more things that you can combine together and things that you like to do. But in the beginning, just keep it simple. My food in the beginning was just easy, and I'm going to be posting that each day, what I did in the beginning. I did a lot of Mighty Muffins. Mighty Muffins are just a little meal replacement, but they're good for you, and they are easy to make, and they're enjoyable. And because I was still learning everything, I was just doing some things that were simple. But category 1 lean protein plus the category 2 fibrous carb, and if you use MCT oil to cook that in, that is an efficient fat burning meal. Same thing with your shellfish plus a fibrous carb plus MCT. Then you're going to have some meal replacements, and then you just branch out over time and you'll learn the different meals that you like. One really awesome thing about journaling is that it'll help you remember the meals that you like. Because you know how we are, we'll eat the same meal for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, we do the same thing, and then we change off to do something different, but then we go, what else did we like? You can go back to your journal and see what else you were liking. Okay, so Belinda, I'm going to talk about MCT in just a second, so thank you for asking that question. We will answer how much in just a few minutes. Okay, so let's just give you a little example of here. Chicken would be a lean protein, like chicken breast, turkey breast, boar's head London broil, a pork tenderloin, something like that would be your category 1. And you're going to pair it with broccoli, cauliflower, or asparagus, something like that. And then down here, let's say we had shrimp and broccoli or shrimp and green beans, that kind of thing. And you cook it in MCT oil. Now, I'm going to talk about this category 2 real quick. This is amazing. There are, because if you start doing a program and they are excluding any macronutrients, it is not a program that you're going to stick with for the rest of your life. So you've got to do a program that does not exclude macronutrients, but instead teaches you how to use them. So the amazing thing about a category 2 in Shibboleth is that there are over 60 approved breads or bread type items in the category 2. So let's say you have some egg whites and you're thinking, what's a fibrous carb that I can have with egg whites? You could do a Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffin. You could take your egg whites and roll them up into an Olay Extreme Wellness high-fiber tortilla. So there's over 60 approved bread products. I have found out that I don't even really enjoy loaf bread all that much, but I love the tortillas that are approved. I love the Joseph's Mini Pitas, the Joseph's Lavish bread, and the 100-calorie Thomas Light English muffins. But there's also approved hot dog and hamburger buns in the fibrous carb category 2 category as well. So you'll just have to figure out which ones those are, okay? So when you are eating a category 4, remember I said you just want to kind of do a 2 with it, all right? Okay, I already went over that. I already went over the first 2 points, but look at this bottom one. When you're at a restaurant, you need to consider all meat a category 4. Even if when you cook it at home, it would have been a lean protein, At a restaurant, you do not know what oil they've cooked it in, so therefore we have to consider it a category 4 to make sure that we order the right thing with it to keep us safe and in efficient fat burning, okay? So just consider everything in a restaurant category 4. Unless you want to specifically ask them, please dry grill it or something like that so that they don't cook it in anything, but really it's just the safest way is to consider it a 4. All right, so we're going to get to the MCT oil now, and this is one of those things that I went, what? I did not know this about oil. So our approved oils on the program are, our first choice is MCT oil. The second would be coconut oil, because coconut oil is 60% MCT oil. The third one would be ghee butter, and then of course you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. But MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride, okay? And medium chain triglyceride is an oil that burns up almost like that. It's like a wisp. It burns up in your body. Now, let's compare this to olive oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, that kind of thing. Those are long chain triglycerides. Now, let's just imagine we have this long candle wick here, and we have this shorter candle wick here. If we light this one and we light this one, which one's going to burn up the fastest? Well, the shorter one is going to burn up the fastest. And so that is like a medium chain triglyceride. So, and in fact, a medium chain triglyceride has a low smoke point. What that means is you need to cook on low to medium heat, not high heat when using MCT oil. Otherwise, it will set off your smoke detector. Okay, so that's important to know, because if it burns at a low smoke point, that just shows that it burns up quickly, and that is a good thing for us, a real good thing for us. And I'm going to talk about why that is in a second, but I'm going to get to Belinda's question. How much MCT oil do you use? You can use up to 1 tablespoon for a serving. So let's say you're cooking yourself 1 piece of chicken in a pan, then you can use 1 tablespoon. But let's say you're cooking for the family and maybe there's 4. You could use 4 tablespoons if you're cooking 4 pieces of chicken. So that's basically what your serving is. But keep in mind, you will not want to use that much when you're cooking something like egg whites. It would just drown the egg whites. So you just put a little bit in the bottom of your pan. But you can use up to a tablespoon if you're cooking something else. And you might find that after you've tried it a couple of times, you may or may not need that much. Now, what I did was I used my tablespoon, but then when it was finished cooking, I just poured it out into a little ramekin. And then when I was cutting my chicken, I would just dip it in that little ramekin of oil and just ate it too, okay? But now, what I don't want you to hear me saying is MCT oil is so good for me, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take a tablespoon of it like a supplement. We don't want to do that, because here's why. 1 tablespoon of MCT oil has about 100 calories in it. We do not want to add 100 calories to our intake of calories for no reason. And if you took it just as a supplement or made bulletproof coffee with it or something like that, you are literally just adding calories to your caloric intake for absolutely no reason. So you use MCT oil for the purpose of cooking. Now, MCT oil, because it burns up like that, it has almost no propensity to be stored in the body as fat, as compared to a long chain triglyceride, olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. They take forever to burn up in your body. So what's happening is when we go to expend energy, our body always is going to go to the quickest and easiest source of energy. And if we've got some long chain triglycerides in there, it's always going to go to that first. Okay, this is huge. Listen, that is going to go to that first. But if we have not given our body any long chain triglycerides and we've ingested the MCT oil, but it burns up like that, when our body, when we're expending energy and we need to get to some energy, if it doesn't have any easy, quick, accessible energy to get to, guess where it's going? It's going to our stored fat. That right there is where we want to be getting to. This right here is one of the secrets of Shibboleth. Using MCT oil to not have other oils in our body so that we can get to stored fat faster. So this is why it's important to use MCT oil. So some people say, but olive oil is really good for you. Yes, it has great properties for you. You can use it on a holiday, okay? It's totally fine using a holiday, but I am not going to use it again. I'm just going to use MCT oil because now that I know that, why would I want to not do that? But it does have some good and healing properties, so I'm not down in it. It just has this has a different purpose, and we're trying to burn body fat, okay? So let me know if you have any other questions about MCT oil, but y'all, that's what we need to be using. It's good, really good. Okay, so the fat bus. We don't want to bring the fat bus. Okay, so Belinda asks, is MCT oil better than Pam spray? So, well, Pam spray is absolutely not fine. It's totally fine. It's 0 calorie, you can use it, but MCT oil has some thermogenic properties to it that are going to help burn a little extra calories because of the thermogenic nature of it, and Pam doesn't do that. So, and plus, if you're trying to get some extra flavoring or you like oil, then it's a good and fine oil to use. But Pam's totally fine as well. Okay, so after, remember I said earlier that after a holiday, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. And anytime we don't follow a part of the Shibboleth Shield, we could be bringing the fat bus, okay? And especially in the component number 3 of the food combining. So let's go back to the example of eating an energy carb. So let's say that I just want to eat some lima beans, okay? I like lima beans. I want to eat some lima beans. I have to eat my lima beans, if you'll remember, try to remember right now before I tell you, what do you have to eat your lima beans with? Anybody type that in for me? What you have to eat your lima beans with? Because your lima beans are an energy carb. What do you need to eat them with? You have to, yes, awesome. You have to eat them with a lean meat. You have to, and a 2. So you have to have a lean protein, and that could be enough yogurt or something like that. Because sometimes, yes, excellent, Belinda, a 1 and a 2. So whatever 1 you want to eat it with it, that's fine. And whatever 2 you want to eat with it, that's fine. But you need to have it with a 1 and a 2. Because let's say that we eat those lima beans, there's going to be an insulin release. And when we eat it with a 1 and a 2, we're negating that insulin release from the lima beans. But with the lima beans, we're only probably having about a 1/4 cup of them, because about a 1/4 cup, if we also have to put a fibrous carb and lean protein on our plate, and we still need to get it under our hands, it's about a 1/4 cup. Okay, so let's talk about that steak that people normally eat a potato with. Don't ever do that. That's not what we want to do anymore, because this is the part where that potato is bringing an insulin release. Insulin is 3 things I want to talk about right now. It is a growth hormone. After about 18 years of age, do any of us want to be growing? No, because we are not growing in the way, we're not getting taller, okay? We're growing in ways that we don't want to be growing. So insulin is a growth hormone. That just tells me right there, I have to control insulin if it's a growth hormone. So it's also a fat storage hormone. Nobody wants to be storing fat. So that tells me right there, I have got to control insulin or how it reacts in my body. I've got to do the right things with it because I don't want to store fat. And number 3, insulin increases your appetite for up to 48 hours after it has been released in your body. So let's say that you go to Longhorn and you order a steak and you order a baked potato. Do you remember that a steak, all cuts of steak are a protein plus fat? So it's a great protein, but it's got extra fat in it. So there's fat lipids running around in our body, okay? So we've had insulin come out. Insulin, its literal job is to go around and pick up fat lipids and store them. So you can't be mad at the insulin. That's its job. A bus, just like a bus's job is to go around and pick up people and take them to their destination. Literally, insulin's job is to go around and pick up fat and take it to the storage facility. The storage facility is wherever you might store fat. Actually, it's all over our bodies, but some people store it in more concentrated areas. So it's taking it there. So that's why you don't want to do a steak and a baked potato anymore, because it's going to pick up all those fat lipids, excuse me, and it's going to store them. So now we just know we don't do that. That would not be a properly combined meal. If it is, and you do want to do that, it's considered a holiday. Because guess what? You can do whatever you want to on your holiday. As long as those other days are perfect days, you're either going to lose weight or you're going to maintain whatever you choose to do wherever you are in your journey, okay? So does that make sense? And what I want to hear from you guys, did y'all know that about the MCT oil, or is that new information? And is this new information about why you want to control insulin? Because I like to hear if that was new to me. And I'm a person that has always liked to educate myself on things, but I'm gonna tell you, I was educating myself on things, but just getting bigger and bigger. Awesome, good, I'm good. And it's new and it's huge. This is huge information. MCT oil versus using a long chain triglyceride and insulin, and why you have to control it. It's so, so important to know. And I really like this because it's scientific. I mean, it really is the way that it works. And now we know the secret because we've joined Shibboleth. All right, so meal planning. So what I would do for my first couple of days is I would write down about 10 lean proteins that I like, 10 fibrous carbs that I like, and just like you were in elementary school, take a pencil and draw one from one to the other that you think would taste good. Just put them together, cook them in some MCT oil if you want MCT oil, and utilize them. And that's the way you do that. Throw in a few meal replacements if you have to for simplicity, and just keep it really, really simple, and then you will learn to branch out in the future. Now, I can't teach you everything in one night. That's why this Fast Track group goes till next Saturday. And our goal is that you will have watched all the daily doses by then. They're going to be assigned in little groups each day, and I'm going to have other little assignments. And then by Saturday, you can take the test, pass the test, and earn your first badge. Okay, so Belinda says that she's never used oil for cooking. Actually, you don't have to. You really don't have to. So if that's not something that you want to switch over to, you don't have to. Just if you were going to, though, with the eggs, don't do it with whole eggs. Never use MCT oil with a category 4, protein plus fat. It already has fat in it, okay? So you'd want to use your MCT oil only if you're using a category 1 or 7. Yeah, okay. So Shibboleth has so many opportunities for us to learn this program. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want everybody to be successful, but you guys do have to take advantage of them, okay? So take advantage of them. One is our Facebook support. I posted in the group a few minutes ago the Shibboleth Silver Level group link and the link to the Shibboleth Fixed It page. If you're not members of those, please join those. That's where you're going to get the ongoing support. The Shibboleth Fixed It page is specifically for a reason. So let's say that you go to the store and you think, oh, this looks like a good product, and you look it up in the food library, which is always your first thing to do, look it up in the food library, and it's not there, then you can and you think it might work, take a picture of the front and the back of the item, including the nutrition label and the ingredients. You can post that in the Shibboleth Fixed It page, and a girl named Kim Shibboleth, not me Kim, a different Kim, she monitors that group, and if it's something that would work, she'll add it to the food library. So we really are members helping members and supporting members. So we grow our food library in that way. We currently have over 5,000 foods in the approved food library. And then we have an amazing website. I love our website, and it is good for more than just food things. It's utilize it. We'll explain more of that this week because we're about an hour into this, and I don't like to keep people too long. And then we have free mentor appointments. So it's really, really good to schedule yourself a mentor appointment to get started. Or if you're ever wondering if you're doing something wrong or doing things right, just want confirmation, you can call and schedule an appointment. Actually, you don't call. you go to mentor.genbook.com. Genbook, like G-E-N, like you're generating an appointment, mentor.genbook.com. When you open that up, you will pick the day and the time, and at that day and time, they will call you and y'all can have a conversation. And we've got 3 ladies that do that, and they're amazing. But focus in on this fast track this week and do the little assignments, and you'll be ready to take that test on Friday. And if you just start implementing those, the components of the Shibboleth Shield, you can lose 7 pounds in 7 days if you're having good and perfect days this week. I promise you can. So you guys, let me know if you have any questions. If you want to hop off for any reason, you can, because I know I'm going to almost an hour right now, but I want to show you something important through the website. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So on your, when you log in to myshibboleth.com, you use your username and password to log in, and then you're going to see these tabs right here. When you see these tabs, you're going to click on this yellow one that says Daily Doses and Printable Resources. If you have never printed our welcome packet or received a welcome packet, because with this new lifetime membership, it takes us a while to get all the people that join the information out to them. So I'm telling you right now where to find the exact things that would be emailed to you if you haven't received anything yet, okay? So you're going to click right here on Daily Doses and Printable Resources. This right here is where you're going to watch the little videos that I assign each day. Here's one here, and here's another one, and here's another one. So you're going to watch those. The shortest one is 1 minute and 12 seconds. The longest one is about 9 minutes. These do not take you long to watch, and they're split up over 6 days, so you'll be able to do that. But do you see these little blue buttons right here? These blue buttons, this is your paperwork, like what you might want to print to be able to have everything at your fingertips. A lot of people print these, 3-hole punch them, and will then put it in a binder, you know, so they can have all of this at their fingertips. So you have your welcome packet, you have a fast combination chart. There's some good combinations to use right there, but I'm going to click on this one, the Shibboleth Advanced Combination Chart. I just use the advanced one to start off with. But if you look right here, you've got 3 columns. If you'll stay in the red and yellow columns for weight loss and then slip over into this blue one for a day that you still want to be an EFB, but you want a little bit more flavors and things like that, you can do that. Or maybe you're staying in the yellow and your red column, but you add an extra or a snack that day. It won't bring you out of EFB, but it might make you feel like you've had a holiday once you've been sticking with your really strong, perfect day. So this is your combination chart. You'll want to print that out, okay? And then your welcome packets there and everything. So you'll want to print those out. And I have a little video each morning showing you how to use a different part of the website. So make sure you watch the video to learn all the different pieces and parts of the website, okay? And then what was I going to show you? I was going to show something else. Can't remember. I don't know. I want to show everybody everything all in one night. Okay. So Jennifer asked, is it okay to fast? Does it count as perfect day? You can fast, yeah. In fact, part of our gold level membership is learning about intermittent fasting. And if you have not become a founders member with that lifetime membership that Travis is running right now, if you've not done that, you can go ahead and do that. Upgrade to that, because the gold level membership is in there, and you actually get an icon, a special icon for intermittent fasting. So yeah, it's totally okay to fast, and it does count as a perfect day. But if you choose to mark it as an intermittent fasting day and you're a gold member, you'll have that little icon that you can get that's special. So that would be that. And if it makes sense to me to join the Founders Club program that's going on right now for lifetime, but the gold membership was always just $25 one time. And as long as your silver membership never lapsed, then you were always a gold member. Okay, Candace raised her hand. Do you have a question, Candace? If so, please type it into the chat feature. And does anybody else have any questions? Okay, yes. Oh, with fasting, can you have coffee? You know what? I don't know the answer to that. So I'm gonna, because here's why I don't know the answer to that. I don't drink coffee, and I really haven't had to. I'll have to find out, and I'll post it. If you joined as the lifetime member, if you'll go into the daily doses, there's a whole other set of daily doses for gold members, and it specifically goes over intermittent fasting, and it might talk about that. But I will try to find that out, Candace, and post it in this group for you. Any other questions, you guys? Because I certainly appreciate you joining me tonight. I hope that I've just boiled the thing down to simple and easy. If I haven't, please let me know what I need to change, because I just like to, I want you to know as much information as you can, as quickly as you can, so that you can get started. I mean, tomorrow you could filter all your decisions through the Shibboleth Shield. You know what the categories of lean protein, you know what the categories are of foods. You just use the chart to combine them. You could have perfect meals. Use a quick and easy meal replacement if you want to, and go from there. But feel free is what I was going to say. Feel free to post anything in our group and ask questions, because we are here to help you all the way. All right. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the morning. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Elsie. I'm going to say bye as y'all start hopping off. You're welcome, Linda. You're welcome, Michelle.